Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel. XRP continues to hold up incredibly well, showing true resilience in the face of Bitcoin cratering on down price-wise. Just the other day, as you well know, it was just like a stone's throw away from hitting $100,000. But today, it dropped as low as, I'll show you the exact price in a second, but it got into the 90,000s, and XRP's mostly, I mean, yeah, it's a little volatile, but it's at $1.37 at the time I'm recording this. It's not exactly cratering on down. And I'm going to share with you perspective from a number of analysts, but suffice it to say, the best is yet ahead. The fact that Bitcoin rejected off a very clear psychological level of $100,000 should not be remotely surprising here. And I've got perspective from several XRP chart analysts, including one who says, XRP remains a bargain. And that's a quote. And I will just say this, even though I'm never going to make a price prediction, I'm not a chart guy, so it would be disingenuous anyway, even though I won't do that, I have very strong conviction that by the time this cycle is done, and we know where XRP will peak for this market cycle, we're going to look back and be like, yep, $1.37, pretty damn cheap. That's a pretty damn good bargain. That's what I suspect is going to be the case. Anyway, plenty to share here, but I'll tell you this. The best is yet ahead. But I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. As I record this video, it's 9:11 p.m. Central Time, Tuesday, November 26, 2024. Bitcoin at $92,755, but it did get as low today as $90,833. Not the end of the world, and there's all sorts of analysts that I follow, reputable analysts out there who are warning, yeah, this could happen, and it's not the end of the world, and the best certainly is yet ahead. And there are all sorts of metrics you can look to, and that would indicate that, yes, indeed, what is almost certain, highly probable, is that the best is yet ahead. And well, let's talk about a couple of those things. First of all, to segue into that, I want to share with you part of this post from on-chain analytics firm Santiment. They wrote the following. There has been no shortage of on-chain crypto trading in November. Bitcoin alone has not seen this level of trading volume since May 2021, rising as high as 154.92 billion Bitcoin on November 12th. Folks, that is insane. Hasn't seen that level since May 2021. Do you know what happened then? Arguably, and many chart analysts will argue that this is the case, that was the peak of the market, certainly for Bitcoin. So obviously, technically, Bitcoin for the cycle hit its all-time high in November. But in terms of the strength of the market and the volume and altcoins popping off, that was the time frame. So many people consider that to be the peak. Many analysts do anyway. And then even though there was that November high, which was a little bit higher than the May high of Bitcoin, a lot of analysts will just say, well, yeah, that's basically just a deviation, but that stuff happens in charts and it's not that particularly unheard of, but that's not really where the excitement and mania was. And so just look at what they're saying here. Again, haven't seen that volume since May 2021. That was the peak of the bull run. We're seeing that now, and we are not anywhere near that. And there are a number of things you can look at to be confident that we're not there. For instance, Bitcoin dominance. It's not exactly tanking to the downside yet, which you see at the end of every crypto cycle. Every 4 years, it tanks to the downside because people take profits and then they rotate them into other coins, and they'll pull that too into United States dollars or whatever their fiat currency is. But we're not seeing that yet. So if the market were to just end here and this is it and it craters down, that would be a first. I don't think that's very probable to you. I don't think this time is different. Also, another thing you can watch for is the largest holders for Bitcoin just continuing to sell off. And so it's not that you can't find any of that. Of course you can, but the question is to what degree? Are you seeing it to the degree that you would expect at the peak of a market cycle, just drawing upon the past data that we have from previous cycles? The answer is no, we're not there yet. And so to see this much activity, just imagine what this is going to look like when new retail comes in. It's going to be absolutely insane. And XRP, to know that XRP ran to the level it already did before we get to the last phase of this thing, where the true fireworks are, that's insane. That's why I keep wondering, like, it's just me thinking out loud, but I can't help but wonder if it's the case that some of these expectations for XRP going to like, $8, $9, $10. I just can't help but wonder if those are particularly too conservative. And it will largely depend on how much money flows into Bitcoin, because then it'll cycle into XRP and everything else. But I don't know. We'll look back and we'll find out. But either way, I still firmly believe what's most likely is, yeah, new all-time high, price discovery, melt phases. And that time is at hand. Take a look at this. This is a post from chart analyst Tech Dev. He shared this with his 484,000 followers on X. It's a Bitcoin USD chart. And he wrote, Bitcoin reaching the green line means it has expanded to the extent where its market cap begins to rotate substantially into altcoins. It's the signal that fires every 4 years prior to the macro decline in Bitcoin dominance, known around here as alt season. So, my friends, what he's highlighting there is, if history is to rhyme anyway, alt season is at hand. It is about there. And let me just say one more time, we haven't entered alt season, and XRP ran as high as $1.62 days ago. That's crazy. That's not far off from what its peak was last market cycle. Did you get it? I mean, I know you guys probably do. I mean, but it's exciting, right? It's exciting because we know what's most probable. Like, yeah, we are going to blast through eventually anyway. I know there are levels of resistance, but we're going to blast through ultimately that 2021 all-time high. And the cool thing about that is when that finally happens, I keep seeing this from tons of analysts that watch it, track XRP. There's really basically thin air from that point to the all-time high. There's just not going to be much resistance. So you could see some really fast price action once we get to that point. And people will be chasing that green candle. Oh, let me tell you, because that's how humans behave. There's this post from chart analyst Mustache, hashtag altcoins. This doesn't look like the 2021 altcoin cycle. It looks more like 2017. And Total 2, which is the chart on your screen, it's called Total 2. It is the crypto total market cap, excluding Bitcoin, so everything else but Bitcoin. It says Total 2 has only recently broken out here. It seems like most people have forgotten what a real altcoin rally looks like, but they will find out over the next few months. Okay, so if his hunch is correct, and this is going to look more like 2017 than as opposed to 2021, that cycle, then buckle up, maybe buckle up twice. Just put two straps over your lap, because, like, look, I was here in 2017 towards the tail end of this for the mania. It was a weird time to happen to jump into crypto. It was impossible to buy something that then wouldn't be worth way more in very short order. It was impossible to buy the wrong thing until, of course, one day, bubble pop, and then everything was wrong because everything cratered. But there was a moment where you couldn't buy anything wrong. It just went up. And there was certainly a sense of that last market cycle, but I think it was only something like 20% of altcoins hit a new all-time high, even though the entire market moved in tandem. So if it looks more like 2017, add that on top of the huge list of reasons why we're excited as XRP holders. Because if it's going to be that big for the entire asset class, this could be another XRP. Like, I'm not saying XRP will be the number one performer like it was in 2017. There's too many coins out there now, and it's, in terms of multiplier effect, it already had too much money, in it to get the multiplier effect compared to like small caps when they run. But at least in terms of like large caps, top 10, top 100, I will not be surprised if XRP is among the very best performers. That will not surprise me in the least. And there is this post from chart analyst Dr. Magic, and I hope he's right about this. I don't consider this to be my base case, just after looking at perspective from a ton of different chart analysts. I acknowledge it's possible, and I hope it comes to pass. But he has a high base case for Bitcoin, let's say. But the reason this matters, and the reason I'm highlighting it, is, well, it's interesting to get a bunch of different perspectives from people who are predicting where Bitcoin's likely to go. Because again, the higher that goes, the more money will circulate ultimately out of that and into XRP. That's why I care about this, frankly. I'll have sold my Bitcoin well before this. If not all of it, then almost all of it. But here's the post from chart analyst Dr. Magic on the Bitcoin USD chart. As we are getting closer to the end, these are the two scenarios I see until we top. My money, as you know, is on the green one. Time-wise, I think February is probably the month. I will take it step by step and constantly reevaluating. Do not marry targets. Time and market structure is above all. Okay, so fair enough. $265 is what he's targeted there for the green line. That's one of the scenarios. The other one brings it closer to like $165,000. So, look, even the most reputable analysts that I follow, many of them will say it's possible, but pretty much none of them say it's their base case. Like, for instance, Credible Crypto, he's saying, if you had to guess, $150,000 peak for Bitcoin. But he acknowledges, he's like, if things go absolutely bananas, then it could be like $200,000 or $300,000. He doesn't think that's likely. And I've seen lots of perspectives like that. But here you have Dr. Magic actually thinking it's more probable, actually, at least at this juncture in time, that we'd hit that. I don't know. It's just food for thought. But man, alts are going to go so insane if that's the case. Let's talk about XRP. Here's a post from chart analyst Dark Defender. XRP USD chart on your screen. People are asking why XRP is plunging. Is it plunging? In the past couple of weeks, XRP has increased more than 200%, and it is expected to have a correction. In the 4-hour chart, has the A and B waves where we are in the C. C wave critical level is at $1.28, where the regular wave 2 is complete. If $1.28 is broken down, C could expand towards the $1.03 level. This is always the case for crypto. When XRP completes this correction, the initial target will still be $1.88. Okay, and so that is a fair warning, just so that everybody's aware, especially for anybody that's new to crypto. That would be normal volatility. It doesn't mean anything's over. It's just, I mean, we're in a bull run anyway. But it does shake some people out. So I don't know if we're going to, but yeah, we could see those levels. Some think we could go even lower than that. But even the analysts that say, hey, just in case, just, you know, something that could happen, even they say, yeah, but we're still going to hit new all-time highs. It's just a degree to which the volatility takes hold and scares the hell out of people. And that's the name of the game. And so I just don't respond to it. I like watching it. I have skin in the game, so I really enjoy tracking what's happening on a daily basis, but it's not going to change what I'm doing. I'm going to continue to do precisely nothing. I have the most unsophisticated investment strategy on the planet, and you know what? It works. And the data shows people that do what I do in the stock market, they're the ones that make the most money, whereas the people that are trying to trade and get in and out of positions, they underperform the average of the market. Data shows that. So what I did was I took that practice, the best practice of doing nothing if you're a regular person, and then I applied it to crypto. And wouldn't you know it, 7 years later, it's absolutely worked for me. I can tell you that. My crypto's worth a hell of a lot more than what I've invested on the whole. Here's a post from chart analyst E. Greg Crypto. XRP Fib channel analysis, $13, $27, and $44. And so look, the idea of hitting double digits this market cycle, not crazy. Definitely not crazy. I will not be surprised at all if that happens. And it's not a prediction, but I'll not be surprised. So he shared this chart, XRP USD chart, and he said, as stated previously in many posts, 75 cents served as the launch pad for pump 1. Right now, the Fib channel .236 aligns perfectly at $2. And of course, as you well know, or I'm assuming most of you know, that was the high for XRP last market cycle that occurred in April of 2021. Funny how that just happens to line up. But he's correct, that 75 cent level, once we got past that, my God, market got hot, didn't it? XRP moved very quickly. Anyway, then he says, with the right news and catalyst, XRP will break past this critical level soon, and then the real FOMO kicks in at $2. Folks, that is exactly what I keep seeing from every analyst under the sun. Once that $2 level is hit, there's just not a lot of resistance. The people that want to sell at particular levels, they will have likely sold by then. And then he says, reaching Fib 0.5 alone takes us into double digits, and historically, XRP has even surpassed this to hit at least Fib 702. So, take it for what it's worth. I'll not be surprised to see this much higher in the future. So if you're wondering, you know, if you're too late to buy XRP, well, you do what you want. I'm not telling you what to do. I don't care if you buy or sell or hold. But is it too late? I doubt it. I really doubt it. I think that this is going to go a lot higher before this market cycle's over. And then if you factor in subsequent market cycles, my God, who the hell knows? It's very clear that XRP is one of the early winners. That's very obvious at this point. Here's a post from Crypto Insight UK from this morning. He said, dips are for buying in a bull. XRP key levels, $1.26, $1.18, $1.10, and $1 even. If we get offered these and you have cash ready, that's where I'd be looking. Could go below that if the pullback is aggressive. Bitcoin dependent, really. Yeah, totally fair. Bitcoin leads the market. If there's something really drastic happening with Bitcoin, which some do think could occur, Bitcoin into the low 80,000s perhaps, something like that happens. I mean, look, XRP has been strong in recent days, But you got to think that even XRP would probably respond to that. So if you do see lower XRP prices, again, doesn't mean there's something wrong with XRP. Doesn't mean that we won't go way higher after that. It's just something to be aware of so that if it happens, you don't have to freak out and lose your ever-loving mind. Because we are humans, and we are our own worst enemies when it comes to investing because of our stupid-ass emotions. So instead, I encourage you to use logic and data and reason to come to conclusions about what is best for you. We also had this from chart analyst Cryptos. He said, XRP market, this is so cool, XRP market cap highest weekly close since January 2018. Bullish. And then he did note, so of course, there's a rising supply of XRP comparatively, but still, think about where we are at this cycle. In this cycle, our alt season clearly hasn't even started, even though alts have been performing just fine recently. I mean, pretty much everything went up after the election. That's understandable. And we're seeing this already? How could you not be thrilled about all this? You know what I'm saying? Then we had this from chart analyst Steph is Crypto, XRP USD chart. At $1.43, XRP remains a bargain. The breakout is just the start. Buy before adoption drives prices into the very expensive range. And you can see where he's citing us now. That's right about where we are. We're getting out of the fair value range, noting that pretty soon it's going to be expensive anyway, in his estimation. And then where he thinks we're going to peak is at $33. He said that a ton of times. I hope he's right. I have no idea. I just, with each dollar increase your prediction is, the less confident I am that it's true, because logic would dictate, of course, I would feel that way. But even I admit, if you're going to have, like, say Dr. Magic is right, and you actually do have like a $265,000 Bitcoin, then $33 XRP doesn't sound that crazy to me. It really doesn't. But that's the question mark. Now, if you're talking about Bitcoin topping at like $150,000, I'm like, not as confident. And I don't know. I'm just, my opinion's no more valid than any of yours. I'm just sharing some thoughts, and in addition to what tons of reputable chart analysts say about this stuff. So you can come to your own conclusions like we all do, but not crazy stuff here. Now, that would be, comparatively very expensive. So, XRP today, is it a bargain? Well, hell, with the benefit of hindsight, if that's the case, it goes to $33. Yeah, we're going to be like, $1.37 for XRP, looking pretty cheap. Looking pretty damn good there. That's what I think people will be saying. We're going to find out together, though, but my friends, the best is yet ahead. Very clearly. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.